See, firstly, congratulations on your retirement and very impressive 22-year career. How does it feel?
To be honest, since I stopped on a few days ago, I've been so busy. It's been really nice to be honest, because I had thousands of messages on just on my phone, social media, and everything. And one thing I like to do is respond to every single one of them. And I have been 2 days, and I mean flat out, start to finish, replying. So retirement is in inverted brackets, and I'm sure we'll come on to that later on as well.
So it hasn't quite sunk in yet. Is that fair?
No, well, to be fair, no, it has sunk in. It's only been a couple of days. It was a perfect time for me. No regrets. Loved doing it the other day, and I really enjoyed every second of the day. Obviously, we had one we thought set up in the first race, but he had a little issue and that. But no, it was a perfect time for me. I like when I've made my mind up. I like to respond to all the messages I've had and things like that, and get it over and done with. And I'm having a lot of people asking me about how it was now, but that's now in the past, and I'm driving on to the next thing, and that's how I'd like to operate.
Cool. So you mentioned that last day at Kempton. I just want to go over that briefly. What were your emotions like as you rode that last race and you weighed in for the last time? Any tears, any lumps in the throat?
Um, like clockwork, if I'm honest. But one thing I was not going to do, and that was shed a tear, because enough people had slagged me about, well, not slag me, but slag Noel about, I gave him so much crap, him crying when he announced his retirement, that I was actually making sure I didn't bring a tear. And I remember in my last interview with Nick Look and things like that, I was kind of like thanking the people, and I was half thought about it, getting emotional. Well, I didn't really think about it, to be honest. Noel said, "Oh, you were half getting emotional there in that last video," and I was like, "Yeah," but I said I might have been half thinking about it, but I didn't, because I didn't want to appear to be a soft so and so like you, Noel. So no, I held it all in. No, it was a great day, and perfect time for me. I've been retired at least two or three times in my career for numerous things, injuries, and with my diabetes and things like that. And one thing I do, if I'm told no, it's like setting up the syndicate business. Our accountant said, no, don't do it. And that just makes me want to do it even more. So same when I was told I had career ending injuries and wouldn't ride because diabetic, but that just gives you an even more spur on.
So there's absolutely no chance of a dramatic comeback, Crossy, in the years to come.
Well, funny story. My jockey's license ran out, or runs out, on the 3rd of January. And 2 months ago, I actually have that renewed. So I'm in the process of trying to get back 250 quid from the BHA at the minute. But no, you do see jockeys stop and come back, and we were looking for a jockey there on New Year's Day for Rebels Hill, and the thought never even entered my mind, to be honest. That chapter is done, and I'm walking away with no regrets. A lot of jockeys end up retiring and not knowing, they're left in limbo because you're in the rat race and you're doing it 24/7 all your life and don't know what to do next. I'm lucky I've got numerous different things set up, and I'm looking forward, not back. And I'm a lucky jockey, or a lucky ex-sportsman. I've got things to look forward to, and I'm looking forward rather than back.
That would have literally been the shortest retirement in history if you rode Rebels Hill on New Year's Day. That would have been a joke retirement.
It would have been a bit of crack and things like that. But we'll always say the doors never close. But for me it is. Like, there might be charity races, or I'm sure I'll set up something myself as a bit of fun over the years. Might have a little match race between myself and Noel Feely. Do you know what I mean? There's anything I do now, it'll be charity or a bit of fun and things like that. My professional career, I've 22 years as a jump jockey is a lot longer than most, and most guys that start off, they might last 5 to 10 years sort of way, but I'm pig ignorant, and they just couldn't retire me. And to go out on my own terms, I think that was a massive achievement, you know.
And how long was it in your mind? I know it came as a surprise to most people when they got the text from you, or the voice note, should I say, on Boxing Day morning. But had it been in the making for a few months?
I kind of always knew it. This maybe 2 or 3 months ago, this was going to be my last year, because my time is precious in the sense I've got so many other things, and I've had a long career and things, and so, you know, probably the last couple of months it was at the back of my mind, but I'd never let it creep to the front of my mind, because if it's at the front of your mind, that's the day to give up. Do you know what I mean? You can't be, as a jockey, you got to be 200% committed. So it was always at the back of my mind for the last couple of months, but and I thought maybe in March time, April time, when the crowds come back, would have been nice. But over Christmas, I just thought, with starting a new year fresh, we got a baby coming in 5 weeks time, and I wanted to go out on one of Noel's horses as well. So it was a perfect time, and like maybe 4 or 5 days before I announced it, I kind of knew Josh Moore wasn't going to be riding. Jamie looked like he was going to be down in Chepstow, and I thought, right, well, I'm just going to, we'll see how it happens the day before in declarations. So on Boxing Day morning, I put myself down on Jalwan, and that was going to be it. That was going to be the last day, and I knew that going to Wetherby that day, and did a little video up there, and then released it Boxing Day evening, and there's no bloody turning back after that.
Yeah, were you blown away? I know you've always been popular in the weighing room, Crossey. We know that. But were you blown away by the amount of messages? You said you've had sort of thousands. Were you blown away by the support?
Yeah, it was crazy. The people that I rode for at the very, very start of my career, and things like that, and messages from just stable lads that I would have worked in racing yards with and things like that. It was very, very nice. I had one message, and I mentioned it before, and I'm just getting it on my phone here now. I had one message from a lad that used to actually work in Charlie Mann's, and he sent me a lovely long message saying, "Hi Dave, seeing the news about your retirement. Glad to see you got out in one piece after coming back so many times from bad injuries." He says, "Mass respect for your dedication to the sport all these years. It's a rare thing these days. Thanks for being the life and soul of Wickham House Stables," which was Charlie Mann's yard, where we all worked when I was there. It really made the place a great and lively place to work. But it's only in hindsight that has shown me what a great time it was back then, and the opportunities I spurred, unlike yourself. Just wish I had the work ethic and attitude like you clearly have when I was a young'un. Anyway, thanks for the memories and nickname you gave me all those years ago in Lamburn. No one knew my real name. They only knew me as what I christened them, which can't go out due to a number of reasons.
You can't leave it there. Come on.
No, but that was a real nice message from someone we worked with, and he might have been Charlie Mann's a couple of seasons and things like that. But just real nice messages like that like it was great crack back in those days. And one thing I actually never liked doing is calling someone by their actual name, like you're Callum Barker, you're Cal Dog. And I call a lot of everyone kind of dog, do you know what I mean? But I don't spell it D-O-G. I like to spell it D-A capitals and then small W and a capital G. I like to be a bit different and things like that. And that's and you know, everyone we do, I like to call them different names. If I'm calling you a different name, it means I kind of like you. And we had great nicknames over the years, like Kevin Tobin. He was conditioned jockeys in Charlie Mann's, and he was called, he had so many spots all over his face. We used to call him Rice Krispie Face or Join a Dot. And his two eyes were a little bit close together, so we called him Roland Rat. And but like all in good fun, good banter. And I nowadays in the yards, it's probably not quite as like it was back in the day, and I'm sure our parents would say the same and things. But they're the days you'll always look back on, and there was always great crack and in the weigh room and things like that. It's just it was 24/7 now being a jockey, and you just never get to completely switch off. And that's just you have to be like that to be a jockey. But that's the one thing I'll find is hard to switch off, because I'm now sat at home here now thinking, right, what am I doing next? Right, I've got 4 or 5 jobs, but what's the next thing that'll make me a millionaire as such,
More of a millionaire, yeah, just to confirm.
I wish.
So everyone that we speak to in the game, we speak like David Russell, Noel Feely. We've had them on the podcast before, and they've both said to us how much they're so fond of you as an individual and your work ethic, as you alluded to in that last message you just read out. But do you think more jockeys need to take that kind of approach and that real kind of your sort of never say die attitude? Do you think jockeys are a little bit softer these days?
I wouldn't say that. Like, obviously, I was always a little bit quieter riding, in the sense that I didn't get as many rides as a lot of others. I was going racing for one ride one day and things like that. So you don't earn much money being a jockey. Over all the years, you're balancing the books. That's what you're doing. You're scraping by. I've finished my career and I don't owe a penny on my house. But that's what you call a good career. But then I've invested my time in other things as well. I used to have a business, Crossey's car cleaning. So if I wasn't racing on a day when I was finished riding out, I'd valet cars out in my drive. And I never minded. As long as I was busy, I was always a happy boy. If I wasn't busy and I wasn't riding, I'd see it there. I used to have lads that used to lodge with me and things like that. They'd be on the sofa all afternoon having a sleep and thinking, oh, why watching the race and why haven't I riding this? Why haven't I riding that? If I wasn't riding, it was through any day of the week. It was not because I gave everything 200% effort to try and get on every horse in that race. And if I didn't get it on a horse in that race, I accepted it then, because I know I've done everything I could. But I just see some lads there, they'd be sitting on the couch, and when you have too much time, your mind I'd probably be a manic depressant if I was a quiet lad and just concentrating on riding, because I wouldn't be busy enough and I'd be melting my own head. And a lot of lads end up doing, and that's why they end up giving up. But if I wasn't riding, I was doing something else, and I was keeping my mind occupied. And I'll have to keep doing that, and I know I will be, because I'd probably be a suicidal type of guy if I didn't. I would say, I love being busy, love working, whatever it is I'm doing, and I like to try and make everything a success.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point. I think a lot of that happens for not just in racing, but in sport generally.
Any sports, yeah.
When they come to retirement, it is what next. But you, as you say, you've got plenty of things going on. Let's touch a little bit on the Noel Feely Racing Syndicate. You're now going to be a bigger part of that than you already were. What's the sort of ambition for the syndicate, and where are you going to be in 5 years' time?
Whoa! If he's going to be a bigger part, does that mean more voice notes than ever?
Yes, I go along with that, Cal Dog, as well. To be fair, no, obviously I've been a silent 50% partner for up to now, because I was a jockey, but because I'm not anymore, it's officially that we are. So the main difference now is that I call Noel governor and he calls me governor now. And obviously his wife, Natasha, I've told her that she has to call me governor as well, which I got told to. One word begins with F and the second word begins with O. And so like, we'll always have plenty of crack in that. But going forward, it's we're from the very start, we're trying to build this business up. We've got 13 horses now. The last couple of days we've been sitting on 2 or 3 more new horses, and if we like one of those, we will be purchasing another one, and when that gets sold on, we'll be moving on to the next one. You know, we're very ambitious. I told Noel from the very start that we want 100 horses on the team, on the books, and he laughed at me and said no way. Then we got up to 5 or 6, and I said, right, 10 is the target. Then we got to 10, and even Noel's, come on now, what are we going? Like, that's not like Noel, but he's even now, I've even got him on side. But the formula is working very well. There'll be good ones, there'll be bad ones, and I think boys are involved in all the bad ones, to be honest.
Whoa. Don't say Trail Boss is a bad one as well.
Well, no, but you've had no luck with him from the start. But you know, he was a week from having a run, and he ends up getting a leg injury, which should have been off for 2 years, and he was off for 6-7 months. Like, the vet couldn't believe his leg. You saw a video of him this morning. He's going back to Fergal O'Brien's next Monday, and we'll have him on the track then in 2 months after that, please God. But you know, it's even though like you haven't had much luck from the start, I hope you've enjoyed every second of it, and it just goes to show that all horses don't work out. Jack, you were involved in a horse called Beat Topper. We generally, when we bought that horse, we bought him for a reason. We thought we'd win 3 on the bounce. We didn't think we'd run him 3 times and then have to give him away and rehome him. But but we got that horse's win done. We got his back done. We sent him to the best trainer, and he just didn't work out. And he's the first horse out of all our syndicate ones that haven't worked out. But like, we were straight from the start with everyone. We told you what we thought we had. We said it was a gamble, and we said we'd do it for a year. The gamble for the year turned into 6 months, but we like to look after owners, and we don't want to throw good money after bad. And we said, guys, right, we're better off pulling stumps here, because he wasn't doing the owners any good, and he wasn't doing us any good. And we found him a nice new home, and he'll do a bit of hunting, get retrained, and go on to a life that he might be able to be more competitive at than he was as a racehorse.
Absolutely.
The fact that he had issues in his head as well. He was obviously a bit like me, in the sense he was a bit hyper and didn't like sitting around at home. So obviously he gets exercise for 45 minutes every day, and maybe the walker in the evening. So he's got basically 22 and a half hours of the day, and his mind starts wandering, and his mind started wandering into very dark places, and the demons were telling him, you don't want to be a racehorse. You don't want to be a racehorse.
You want to be a hunter.
And he started listening to those.
So, Crossey, clearly the future is exciting for you post-retirement. What I really want to find out is, what are you going to change lifestyle-wise that you haven't been able to do as a result of being a jockey? Is there anything that you're going to dramatically, are you going to get super fat? Are you going to get on the beer every day? What's the plan? What are you really looking forward to?
I'll be honest, I've been out for a run for the last 2 mornings. Played 18 holes of golf yesterday, and I was absolutely wrecked after it, because I haven't had a chance to stop yet as such. But the main thing I'll be looking forward to is, anytime myself and the missus, or anytime we go on holidays, we would be booking it to do with racing. We're racing 7 days a week. So, for instance, if you're going racing with the lads, it's a case of Daryl, are you riding today? Gavin, are you riding today? And then we'd be trying to find 3 days we could fly off to Portugal, but guaranteed out of those 3 days, one of us would be riding. And so it might happen once every 3 years, we might get away together as such, you know what I mean? So that's going to be a lot easier organising, especially with holidays with the missus. I think I've been on 1-2 week holiday in my life, and that was my honeymoon. And that is one thing we will definitely be doing this summer, because they were the best 2 weeks. It took me a week on that first 2 week holiday I ever had in my life to actually switch off. And because when I stop, I actually get very, very tired, and it's like my body almost shuts down. And it was only the second week of that I really enjoyed. So hopefully myself, Rebecca, and our newborn baby, we will disappear and have a nice little 5-star holiday somewhere in the summertime. Now, having said that, the hospitality business will hopefully be up and running, so that'll probably interfere. But riding always came first. The hospitality, if I book a 2 week holiday, I'll have someone else that can do it. So no, that's I think going to be the main thing I'm going to be looking forward to, is be able to book a day off and not worry that I'm that I'm missing out on something, because that's the one thing as a jockey, you never take a day off because you would be afraid of missing one single ride.
Crossey, you do realise with your pending arrival, the golf trips to Portugal are off for a few years anyway.
Absolutely no chance whatsoever. There will be, I said it already, I used to go away abroad 10 times every year. Like, it might be for a day or two, it might be to Ireland, Portugal, wherever it may be. I went every year, I'd go 10 times. That was obviously before I met the missus. But to be fair, no, I've still been away quite a bit. And that's one thing I'll make sure I do, is get away often enough, and things like that. Because I'll just find a good babysitter or something like that.
Get a nanny over. Sounds good.
Nice, thoroughly deserved, Crossey. We don't want to look back on your career too much, but there's a couple of questions we do want to ask. What was your favourite day ever in the saddle?
Favourite day ever in the saddle? It was cusp of two, and for two different reasons. So I'll say them off. Obviously, I had a winner at Cheltenham Festival on the Bushkeeper, but to be fair, I was young. Everything was just easy back then, because everything just happened so easy for you when you're young. But two winners that stand out for me, one was on a horse called Temple Hills at Warwick. He had run over fences 3 times. He fell first time, then he won at Fakenham, and then he fell again somewhere else, I can't remember. And no one wanted to ride the horse, and he was in a 40 grand chase live on ITV at Warwick, and it was for Nigel Twiston-Davis. I rode the horse, and spoke to Sam, got him into a good rhythm, and he jumped reasonably well, and he ended up winning. I got great satisfaction out of that. And again, I had numerous messages. Like, that's a nice bit when you ride a winner, not just riding a winner, but you get nice messages from nice people on the way home from racing. And that was a great day. The most satisfying winner I ever had was, I rode only about 2 seasons ago. I was riding a few horses for Kim Bailey because the owner wanted me to ride them, but Kim didn't want me to ride the horses at all. And I remember weighing out, and Kim said to me, I said to him, sorry, what do you want me to do on this horse? And he said, he just ignorant to me, he said, took the saddle and says, well, you know more about the horse than I do. I'd never sat in the horse before, Anton. Anyway, so that was grand. I just rode the horse as I found him, and won on him a couple of times. He was actually called Kilfilm Cross. But I was riding then. I was hosting one day at Windsor in the daytime, and went to Kempton then for the last race. It was around 5 o'clock in the evening, and rode a horse for Hughie Morrison. And this mare, she didn't like to jump off, so she generally refuses to race. Got her to jump off, and made a running, and I ended up winning by a short head, beating a horse of Kim Bailey's. And I remember driving home that day, and no one would have ever known, but I remember I was going, woo! the whole way home. I got a great kick out of that, so I did. Really enjoyed that. You know, so there's always kind of small winners, and when, like, I rode a lot of bad horses, and you know, it's not just the winning rides. Sometimes just even getting around on one can be an achievement in itself. You know, so you know, there was lots of good days. Like I said, the text message I sent out to a lot of people is, look, I've had a great time with it over the last 22 years. I've had what was I going to say? I've had plenty of crack, plenty of women, plenty of injuries, and plenty of winners over the years, and that's probably the best way to sum it up. As long as my missus isn't listening to this.
I was going to say.
We'll send it to her, don't worry.
And Crossey, so what about the ride that you remember for the wrong reasons? Which is the one that sticks in your memory for that?
For the wrong reasons.
We only asked this because we had a little conversation with Noel Feely earlier, who gave us a little bit of insight into one. Right, you're going to have to come spring me up here.
January 2000.
What are you guys stitching me up with here?
January 2006.
January 2006. Come on, give me the name of the horse.
Lost in Normandy.
Oh, did Noel say that to you?
He did.
Oh my God. So what was the question again, Cal?
What's the race you remember for the wrong reasons?
Yeah, well, right up until 10 strides from the line, it was probably one of the best rides I've ever given a horse in my life. But I rode a horse called, I remember I had a winner earlier in the day, maybe on a horse called Nadover at Wetherby. And then I had this ride later on today, lost in Normandy. Didn't want to jump off, never traveled the yard, pushed it for 2.5 miles, somehow kept him in contention, jumped the last, went 5, 6, 7, 10 lengths clear as far as I could remember. And just before the line, then I was just, sitting up and then cruise over the line. Something came flying by me. The vulture, Kenny Johnson, and he nutted me on the line. But when I sat up on it, the horse stopped momentum and the other horse looked like he was flying. So it looked worse than it was. But yeah, I got 28-day ban for that. I was coming home from Wetherby and I was crying the whole way home like a little baby. So I did cry that day. But yeah, I tell you what, that was horrific, because 28 days of not earning and the one thing, if you're not earning, you're spending. And so it kind of hit me financially, and took me kind of probably 6 to 10 months to kind of get back to where I like to be, as in not being in the red in my bank account, to be perfectly honest. And yeah, that should have been a great day driving home with 2 winners. Instead, I was crying into my cornflakes for a few weeks after that, I'll tell you.
I bet you never done it again.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Wait till I get Noel about now for bringing that up. I'll kill him. When you said to me January 2006, see, that's in the past. I put it in the back of my mind. I blocked that one out.
Brilliant.
What year did it? 2006. You're going back 14 years. I tell you what, you're bad individuals. Whose idea was that? Was that you, Jack? Was it?
Maybe.
I tell you what, Noel didn't even have to blink. It came straight to him.
Oh, revenge. I love a bit of revenge, but I suppose I did, when Noel retired, I did give a good roast on him. So
we did see that.
Yeah. So no, I'll let him have that. But I always say, to be fair, you learn from your mistakes. And when I do my jockey coaching, everyone I say, do not stop riding till you're 10 strides past the line. Do you know?
Yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one, Cal, yeah.
So brilliant. Really great to talk to you, Crossey. And we know your story pretty well, but I think for everyone else, that's a real good insight into your career. And I think your mindset into the way that you really got the most out of your career. And yeah, it's been a pleasure.